Have you ever noticed some lives begin with nothing? No comfort, no resources, not even hope. And yet, from those very struggles, a fire is born. A fire so strong, it lights up not just one life, but thousands. Today's story is about that fire. A boy who turned his pain into power and his weakness into victory. In the dusty lanes of a small town called Sihor lived a boy named Raghav. He was only 15, but life had already handed him the burdens of a grown man. His father worked as a daily wage laborer at a construction site, sometimes earning, sometimes returning home empty-handed. His mother stitched clothes late into the night, just to keep the family alive. Raghav's house wasn't really a house. It was a tin-roofed hut where rainwater dripped through holes in the ceiling and summer heat turned it into a furnace. But the real struggle was not the roof, it was survival. Every morning at 5 a.m., while most children were still asleep, Raghav walked barefoot to the nearby railway station. He carried a basket of boiled peanuts, selling them to passengers to earn a few coins before school. Sometimes he was mocked, sometimes ignored, but he kept going. Why? Because he had a dream. Unlike other kids, Raghav never wanted just money or food. He wanted to invent something that would change lives in his town. A place where electricity came for barely 2 hours a day and darkness ruled the rest. His dream? To create light, not just for himself, but for everyone. But dreams, as we know, don't come easy. At school, Raghav had only one torn uniform. His classmates laughed at him saying, "Look at him, he can't even afford shoes and he talks about becoming a scientist." Every insult pierced him, but he never fought back. Instead, he quietly returned to his seat and buried himself in his books. His biggest strength was his science teacher, Mr. Dutt. One day, Mr. Dutt told the class, "Life is like darkness, but those who dare to create their own light, they become leaders of the world." That line shook Raghav's soul. He decided, no matter how hard, no matter how poor, he would bring light to his people. Soon the school announced a science exhibition. Everyone cheered. Kids from rich families ordered expensive kits, shiny wires, motors and glass panels. But when Raghav's name came up, laughter filled the room. "You? What will you bring? A lantern of peanuts?" Raghav said nothing. He went home and collected trash. Broken fans, discarded batteries, plastic bottles and wires that people threw away. For weeks he worked in silence. His fingers bled, his eyes burned from late-night experiments, but his determination only grew stronger. Finally, he built a small model, a low-cost wind turbine made from scrap, capable of producing light for a household. It wasn't polished or beautiful, but it worked. The school hall sparkled with colorful projects, solar cars, robotic arms, chemical experiments. Parents and judges walked around impressed. And then came Raghav's turn. His model looked too ordinary. Some students whispered, "It won't even start." Nervously, Raghav connected the wires. For a moment, nothing happened. His hands trembled. Then suddenly, the fan blades turned and a small bulb lit up. A dim glow, but in that glow, the entire hall fell silent. One judge leaned forward and asked, "How did you make this?" With a shy smile, Raghav replied, "From garbage. But for people like us, even garbage can create hope." That single sentence won everyone's heart. But the story didn't end there. Raghav was selected to represent his town at the state-level competition. The problem? He didn't even have bus fare. His father, helpless yet proud, sold his only wristwatch, his last possession, to buy Raghav a ticket. Before leaving, his mother whispered, "Son, you are not carrying just yourself. You are carrying the light of this entire family." In the city, Raghav faced even tougher competition. Students from elite schools had robots, drones, and advanced solar tech. When he stepped on stage, he felt small, his throat dry, his knees shaking. And to make it worse, halfway through his demo, his wind turbine jammed. The audience laughed. Tears welled up in his eyes. For a moment he wanted to run, But then he remembered his mother's words and Mr. Dutt's lesson. Those who dare to create their own light lead the world. So he bent down, fixed the jam with his bare hands and tried again. This time, the blade spun faster. The bulb glowed brighter. The hall thundered with applause. The results came in. Raghav's project won second prize, but for him, it was more valuable than gold. That prize gave him a scholarship, admission into a top engineering college, and most importantly, hope. Years later, Raghav became an engineer, but he didn't stop there. He returned to his town and set up dozens of small wind and solar systems, bringing electricity to villages that had lived in darkness for decades. The same people who once mocked him now proudly said, "Raghav is our light. He showed us the way." Friends, Raghav's story teaches us something powerful. Life will push you down, laugh at you, and test you again and again. But real heroes are not those who never fall. Real heroes are those who rise after every fall. So when the world tells you, you can't, remember Raghav. Remember the boy who built light out of garbage. And ask yourself, what excuse do I have? Because if you dare to fight, even your darkest nights can turn into the brightest mornings.